I cannot believe you're going to let us in here.
I know.
We get to go over to Connor's. That's a house we've been working on for a while, and they're now going to let us into the living room. This, which I love.
Okay.
Stephanie likes neutral palettes.
I like the idea of something light, but at the same time, when you've got the light on the floor and then you've got children, that's always a challenge.
Today we're meeting with Trey Harwell. He has a dining room that's already furnished, but he needs those finishing touches that really pull the room together and show his personality.
And with the fabric, we could probably play a little bit off the wallpaper with this light and dark.
The Connors room is looking tremendous.
Whoa.
Are we allowed?
Yeah. Wow. Pearson Company is my dream. I get to live it every day, along with my talented team of designers.
You never know what's going to come in the door or who you're going to work with.
What I love doing is being that person that can walk in and say, absolutely, I get your dream, and we can make it happen.
I'm the new kid on the block, and I'm looking forward to blowing people's minds.
I've never been in a place that was as creative as this environment is.
Well, I was just talking to the Connors, and that's a house we've been working on for a while, and they're now going to let us into the living room, which is exciting because there's nothing in there to work with.
Yes, it's a big empty space.
Not a thing.
A huge empty room like the Connors living room is really a designer's dream, because with all that empty space, you have unlimited possibilities to be creative.
So Brad, of course, you know, stay on that and work with me on that. And then Trey Harwell, Jenny, he's ready to do the dining room. Okay.
Very cool.
So that means Katie.
Yes, I get to work on it too. Yay! I'm really excited to be working on this project with Jenny. It's always a challenge when working in a dining room to make it functional, but then also give it a touch of elegance.
Stephanie and Forrest Connor are great. We have been working with them through the process of their build. Kind of came in on the tail end of it, but helped them finish out the house with light fixtures and wall coverings. And we've started into some of their rooms. We did their TV family room, and now we're moving into the big great room.
This room has a lot of pressure on it because it's got to be a couple of things.
Okay.
It's got to be very livable with the children, but we want it to be elegant also because this is the only big room we have for entertaining.
Right.
We've got some key pieces of artwork that this room was not necessarily built around, but built with in mind.
Okay.
That's where I want my color, because you know I'm afraid of
art.
colors. Yeah, I want my color on the wall, not on my furniture.
Stephanie likes neutral palettes, and her artwork will bring a little pop of color to the room, but we'll focus on textures in the fabrics and the rugs and the furniture to add a little variety in that neutral palette.
I'm thinking, you know, I want to get a lot of seating in here, but I do know you well enough that you like it simplistic and you don't want it crowded. This area, I think, is where we need to focus on the seating area. Instead of doing a bunch of chairs, just focus on 2 great sofas.
So we probably want to look at doing some great side tables on either side of the sofas, and then great lamps.
I want to put the sitting area in the middle of the room so the traffic can flow around it. You know, we really need a comfortable area over here. And then over here, I see a round table because one, I feel like you can have some serving, you can entertain. What it will do for you is, again, we could do a couple of ottomans because I want this room to be flexible, that when you do entertain, you can move it out of the way. Then maybe a really custom bench in here on this wall. I know that's where you want to put that painting. Our troubled spot in the room will not be the drapes. It's not anything that is obvious. It's over here. What do we put below the sconces? We have 3 doorways.
I think a great console on each side would be great, but we're going to have to watch the depth of it and the size of it.
No sharp edges because we got too many kids running around.
And they
back
zip
and
through
forth.
there.
Rounded consoles under the sconces will be perfect because they're kid-friendly, but they'll also soften the hard edges of the doorways.
Good.
Why don't we get you in next week, and we'll have a bunch of options pulled, and we'll play, and then we'll present some stuff to you.
That sounds great.
Today we're meeting with Trey Harwell. He has a dining room that's already furnished, but he needs those finishing touches that really pull the room together and show his personality.
Hey, Trey.
Jenny, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I've been here for a couple of years, and the dining room is one of the rooms that has been left unfinished.
What are you kind of thinking?
The big thing is obviously I need some curtains or something for some privacy, and need to do something about lighting as well, and then whatever you all think.
Okay.
So I need all the help I can get.
Do you do any serving? Do you need a piece of furniture somewhere so that you can serve food or entertain?
Do a little entertaining, and probably do a lot more once
you
this
had
is
it?
done. Exactly.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe once we get back, we'll pull some ideas together and show you some options on which wall would be better and in different styles and looks.
Okay, great.
Good deal.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.
We're gonna get some measurements.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, So I'm thinking with the drapes, if we take them all the way to the top, be really dramatic, but functional for Trey. And with the fabric, we could probably play a little bit off the wallpaper with this light and dark.
Yes. Well, especially because the table is so dark in here, I kind of like everything being light around it. This room needs a chandelier, some serving tables, maybe some lamps, a few mirrors, and those last accessories that really pull the room together to show his personality.
We're meeting with Stephanie to show her some options for the furniture, fabrics, and colors in the room.
I want to go to color first and gravitate to what is your color. You know, if we're going to go neutral or non-color, and I start pulling out some things. When you have a client like Stephanie who doesn't like a lot of color, it's important to try to keep the room from being boring. The way to do that is to encourage color in the smaller items, like the pillows, and to mix and match fabrics and textures. We have your orange.
Was that a scary?
No, it's very scary.
We have our very pumpkin.
No.
And then, look at this.
Okay, I like both of those a lot.
Okay.
This one has some texture, and I like how it changes depending on how the light's hitting it. Look at that.
Okay.
Just gonna get rid of the orange.
Yeah, you can put the orange away.
Stephanie wants the room to be monochromatic, so these pillows are critical to add the variety that the room needs.
They just nailed it. I love the fabric, I love the texture, I love the way it looks different depending on how the light's hitting it. I love those pillows.
The layout is the sofas here, okay? Optional pieces. Love the chairs floating that way. That's how we're gonna weight down the room. And so we pulled out some options. We have a tufted arm, it's tall. I don't want it to feel small in the room because it's a big room.
I like the tufted, I like the single cushion, don't you?
Yeah.
And this seems a little more streamlined.
Right. Yeah. I have a favorite chair.
Of course you do.
It's kind of this one here. And what I like about this little chair is I like that it's skirted.
And you can put linens with the velvet in the same space.
Because you have to put some sort of textile to support the other fabrics, or then the room lays flat. And you don't want everything being velvet, or it'd be Graceland, right? And the last thing too is getting into the carpets. How do you want to feel under your feet? You're going to take your shoes off.
I want it to be comfortable.
Okay. And so that means that we don't want to go here, which gives us a sisal.
I love that look, but
And
I
a beautiful.
think they're impossible
and
to
woven they are, and they're tricky with kids. I'm worried in pets because the vacuuming takes a toll. So we have things like this. We also have trellises as well, which would be a nice complement to this.
Okay.
Oh wait, do you want to do leopard print?
You know, I love leopard.
No.
You know, I think we need to go shopping for the rug.
Well, and I like the look of sisal without the feel and the high maintenance of the sisal. So if we could find a rug that has that same look, I think that would be pretty, don't you?
Well, I think we need to go somewhere.
Getting just the right rug that complements colors in the fabric and the textures is always a challenge. But a well-chosen rug can be the foundation for a spectacular room.
And I want you to look at the tables that you mentioned.
Okay. I love this table. Could we use that somewhere?
Well, the good thing about this table is it's actually a console too. that form a table. It actually goes together, locks in place, and connects. You notice it has kind of spacing in the middle.
Yeah, I did notice that.
I would love to try these. The other thing you'd mentioned the other day was keeping it rounded, and I think this would
Forrest
work.
had said no sharp edges.
Yeah.
So.
And we have some really cool lights in right now that I want you to see. And one, I would love to put some alabaster. This is actually alabaster.
Well, it's funny because that one actually caught my eye when I walked in.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. I think we made a lot of progress today. So to me, at this point, it's just those last minute things that make a room go from feeling like it's pieced together to being complete.
Today, Jenny and I are at Trey's house to show him some options for his dining room.
Let's start with the drapes. We've got this selection here. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. Not metallic, just the way it's woven.
Okay, good. Well, I like that.
Okay, there's one selection out of the way.
When you have a really busy wallpaper, you don't want to choose a busy pattern for your drapes because then they'll compete with each other. Instead, we're going to use texture to add a different dimension to the drapes.
Now I did what I do best, a mock-up of the room. Kat had mentioned putting a piece of furniture to maybe act as a server in the room. She came up with some great options.
All right, Kat.
This style right here,
Okay, that's okay.
this one, and both of these are kind of more of the tray style. So
The tray style, all
The
right.
tray style, you know, we were channeling you while we were looking at it.
I think with the style of the house, I like this one.
And you know what? The only other dark element in the room will be these. So we'll have your table and these accent pieces of furniture. So I think everything else now is light. That would be a really good option.
Okay, well, let's try that.
Okay. We thought that maybe we could pair a mirror over each one.
Okay.
So it further draws your eye in and keeps the symmetrical formality of the room. What do you think about some of these?
Let's see. This one's different.
It's got an antique mirror
Yeah,
in
it does. And that may go okay with the wallpaper, but again, you guys are the experts. I don't like that one a whole lot, so we'll put
Maybe
that.
too
we'll put
dramatic.
that. Yeah, a little too dramatic there. Say no to drama. And then for these two, to be a little bit different, let's try this and see how that works.
I like
Okay.
it.
I do too.
So there's a yes pile.
Yay. I love to use mirrors in a room because they bring a lot of impact without a lot of money. They look great, add light, and they bring a whole new dimension to the space.
I brought some selections just in case, but I think that's your light fixture.
I like it. Let's go with it.
I think it's got some really great curves to complement the design and the wallpaper. And it's got a great antique silver leaf patina on it that's going to pick up on some of that metallic.
Jenny, thank you.
Thank
Kat,
you,
thanks.
Trey.
Thank you. That was so easy.
I'm meeting Stephanie Connor at my favorite rug store. Amy, Stephanie.
Nice to meet you too.
I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to see some things, talk through some ideas. Because the rug is going to be the most important thing in the room that really ties all the textures and colors together. We have to get it just right. We've been looking at things like this, which I love, okay?
Okay.
And I know, Pat. But then we have things down on the floor, which go probably more where you lean.
Now, are all these kid-friendly before we even go another step?
The bottom line is the best would be something like a wool, and those are really pretty easy to clean. I mean, nothing is
nothing's
impervious
foolproof,
to
I know.
anything, but you can clean wool really easily. Obviously, the more texture and the more color differentials you've got, the easier it is.
Do you want to put pattern on the floor? Or do you want it to be more solid?
I like the idea of a smaller pattern than those.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of herringbone, but not the big herringbone.
Okay.
I like the idea of something light, so I think the color scheme here is close.
So go here, okay, good.
But at the same time, when you've got the light on the floor and then you've got children, that's always a challenge.
Well, you know, we're going to seal the fabrics on the sofas. I think we need to do the same thing with the rug.
You can.
Stephanie has 3 kids, and so we always suggest that you seal the fabrics and seal the rugs to make them more durable and make cleanups easier. And there are products that you can use yourself to spray on, but we always suggest that you have a professional come out and protect your investment.
I think these are some cool herringbones on the end.
I did,
There's
that
one on
did
the
catch
floor.
my eye. Yes, I do like this smaller pattern.
The thing that I've learned about choosing the right carpeting and the right rug is sometimes you just have to pull it out, put it on the floor, throw the fabrics down, and remember that fabric is not really going to set directly on the rug. It's just going to be an extension of it. So we still got to put it in the room, work out the lighting, and make sure it all blends together perfectly.
Out of all of these, I like that one the best.
Well, you know, I think your instinct is great because your room is so fabulous. We've got great furniture. This will just complement it. It doesn't have to be a statement rug.
And if we could lay it going this way, so your sofas are running this way, to where the stripe's going towards the fireplace.
Oh, okay.
If we do that, when we walk into the room, we're not going to walk into the pattern, we're going to walk with the pattern.
Okay.
So then we put all this furniture on there. It's just going to be subtle, sleek, and expansive.
I found a herringbone rug that I love, and I can't wait to see it at home.
Pop a color in there. We've just finished putting all the finishing touches on Trey's dining room, and he hasn't seen it yet. I think he's really going to be surprised and really love everything that he'd agreed to.
As we say in the South, y'all done good.
Awesome.
The room has opened up so much with all the mirrors and with the light coming in. Jenny and Kat did a wonderful job. Very proud of it.
Well, as you can see, we got your drapes up, fully operational, so you can block out those neighbors. We got that great chandelier hung for you. I think it pulls the room right together.
I think so too.
And then all these great accessories.
In this room, the wallpaper is definitely the focal point, so we chose accents that complement it instead of compete with it. What do you think about the tray tables over here?
I like it, and I like the mirror as well.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. It adds a little bit more character to it. You're set up for entertaining now.
Okay, super. Now, do you guys help entertain?
Between giving Trey the drapes for privacy and keeping them light to keep the room airy without being too weighed down, to the chandelier that's not too overdone but it still has a dramatic look, and then to give him those fantastic tables so that he has a space to entertain when he has company over, I think that the room is exactly what we set out for it to be.
Yes, I love this day. Move in.
Move-in day is always the day when everything on paper then has to come together in the room. It's fun to see all the fabrics and all the furniture choices, and you just hope that it lands exactly how you planned it. And so far, I'm so excited. The Connors room is looking tremendous.
I love details like when you take a fabric and then we took the pillow that was already coming with a chair and then added this to it.
Yeah, it turned out
It's
great.
nice. Let's put the chairs back on the rug because, you know, Forrest is concerned making sure we keep it open. Let's see if this works. I love that she saw these.
I know. And no
Awesome.
sharp edges.
And no sharp edges. And there's a left and right.
Yeah.
Okay? And so this is the way they're supposed to hang. Okay?
Yeah, I had them backwards before.
Yeah, that's all right. Accessorizing in a room, it's a great way to put dimension. You're putting kind of that final you moment in the room.
This room for us has presented some challenges because it's the biggest traffic flow of the whole house. So we had to make sure that the furniture placement kind of worked with that flow for how they live. And then also to take the neutral palette and add some accessories and some art and some interesting textures to layer the room. And I can't wait for the Connors to see it.
All right.
You guys can come in.
Y'all come on in.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think?
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's a lot to take in. It's
You
a big
figured
room.
it all out, didn't you?
You know, the challenge of this room is to make it elegant and comfortable, but also functioning for the way the Connors live. And so we kind of picked two different sides of the room. One is the sitting area where we want them to feel comfortable to gather there and spend time. And the other is a smaller table that they can utilize, but it doesn't interrupt the flow of traffic. And so I think they balance each other well.
It has taken us 3 years to build this house, and now Jonathan has come in and made this house a home. We could not be happier.
We went and found the rug. You remember the rug?
Yeah, of course I do.
This was
What do
the
you think?
challenge.
It's jute, it's cleanable.
I mean, I think that looks really good, don't you?
I do.
It worked perfectly with the fabrics of the sofa and the pillows.
Yeah.
Just softens everything up a little bit to have some drapes.
I just love how the fabrics are all working together, and none of them are really fighting for attention, yet they all kind of belong
Well,
together.
and I couldn't picture how a linen was going to go with the velvet.
Right.
Yeah.
It shouldn't all match.
Just
it just
blends.
blends.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You know, the magic of this room is layering. It's a neutral room, so we chose to use about 8 different fabrics that all coordinate together. And then the rug comes in to ground it all. And the only other focus fabric that we have is the drapes. And that is also reflected in the pillows in the room. And I think they all work very well together.
And then over here to the right, we have the bookcase.
Oh, the cabinet.
And look at the accessories. We used some of your things. We added some books and a box from our store, and so just
Why
kind
are
of.
shelves so complicated? I can't ever make anything look like this. This is great.
I think sometimes people overdo it. There are times when you really want a lot of stuff in a bookcase, but then there are times when really, if you're just playing within the glass, you know, just put right things, don't pack it full.
And the books end up being a great filler in there so that you can set apart the great accessories.
So the consoles.
I think they were made for the space.
I do too.
You know, the cool thing about these tables is they come together and they do make a round table.
Do they really?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that.
he hadn't seen that
Yeah.
yet.
And when she first saw them, she was thinking it would be great here, and I just thought
They
this
were round.
brought a bit more.
Yeah.
This table is a little bit more refined. It's really nice here. There's just great flow through the room here so that you don't get bottlenecked or blocked through here.
Both sides of the table.
Yeah.
You know, it's a huge room that gets a lot of traffic, and so we arranged the furniture in a way that it's still cozy, but it works with the flow of the space.
I'm pleased with all the wood finishes. End tables, a round table, consoles, and a bookcase, and hardwood floors. You got a lot of wood.
Right. Bringing in several different wood finishes into a room accomplishes a layering effect. It adds depth to a room, and this is definitely what we wanted to do in the Connors room.
Luckily, the coffered ceiling helped us out because it was painted white, smart move. So it made all of this have a bit more dimension, which again makes this room feel collected, and that's what we wanted.
That's it. It feels collected.
On that point, we're gonna leave.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
Begins, okay? So we are done here.
We'll meet
For all your help.
Absolutely.
Great. Looking forward to getting in here with the family and really enjoying it. Hopefully we'll be able to enjoy it for many years.
I'm thrilled with the room. They really pulled it all together. They took all my ideas and made it happen. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to do it. And they did know how to do it, and they did it well.